Hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering unboxing. Today I'm going to be opening up the Shadows over Innistrad Fat Pack. There's been a little bit of a delay on doing this. I've been on vacation right in the middle of when Shadows over Innistrad was released. So this is the first opportunity I've had since I've got back to do this, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we've got inside of here. So let's just flip it over. Slight change in the content. So we've got the player's guide with Encyclopedia as usual. This forms a card box, so no change there. 9 booster packs. The land pack, there's 70 cards this time round, because there's also 10 Shadows over Innistrad double-faced card checklist, because there are double-faced cards in this set. There's a spin down life counter and 2 deck boxes. So the only change here is, like I say, the slightly reduced basic land pack, which allows for 10 Shadows over Innistrad double-faced card checklists. So let's open this up and get cracking those boosters. But before we do that, we will take a look at the Encyclopedia in here. Remove all this spacing stuff. So there's our card box. There's obviously the relevant artwork on there for the set. We've got a couple of deck boxes here. Unravel the madness. So there's our deck boxes. So before we crack open our packs, take a look at our land and our spin down, let's actually have a look at the Encyclopedia. This will give us a nice feel for the set. So we've got a bit of backstory here. Bit about Sorin Markov, Avacyn, Griselbrand, and then some backstory about Avacyn and the Lunark Council, and a bit about vampires, different provinces within Innistrad. Jace Beleren, Sorin Markov, Nahiri, and they have this interesting bit now with the Encyclopedia where they sort of show certain cards that tie into the storyline, and then they have, as always, the 10 coolest cards from the set. So number 1, Archangel Avacyn the Purifier. So that's a flip card. Arlinn Cord, Arlinn Embraced by the Moon. Triskaidekaphobia. That's fear of the number 13, I believe. Startled Awake, Persistent Nightmare. Howlpack Resurgence, Nahiri the Harbinger. Hang on. Nahiri the Harbinger. Magnifying Glass, Epiphany at the Drown Yard, Fiery Temper and Mind Rack Demon. And then at the back we have the card encyclopedia, so that's going to go through by colour and then by alphabetical order all of the cards within the set, and obviously also showing both sides of those double face cards. Eventually ending up with the gold bordered cards and the artifacts and then the lands. Okay, let's have a look at these spin down dice. So this one's sort of a modelled black and grey, and let me just get this up the right way. So that's basically the set symbol there, you can see there. There's our packs. So before we put those out, we get those open, we'll have a look at our land artwork. I'm assuming in here is also our checklist cards. So let me zoom in on that so you can see that clearly. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly flip through these cards so you can get a feel for the different artwork in here. Shame there's not smell of everything. There's a wonderful new card smell here coming for these. Oops. Very slippery indeed. So I'll just keep going until we start to see some repeats in the artwork. Here, I think that's all the artwork now. We can see this, so I'm going to just cut through so I can just show you what these checklists look like if you've not seen them before. Obviously these were used before in the original Innistrad block, and what these have on them is they basically got lists of all of the double face cards here, so you can use these to represent a double face card in your library or hand. It's just another way of having them in your deck. So what happens with the double face card is if you've sleeved it up, one thing you can do is when you come flip it, you can obviously take it out of the sleeve, flip it up, put it back in on the flip side. But if you use these instead, what you can do is have these in your deck, and then when you play it, you can sort of put out the appropriate card that this represents. So there's a couple of ways of doing this basically. Okay, so let's start cracking some packs. See how my luck holds out on this particular unboxing. So when we're opening this many packs, we're probably looking to get at least one mythic and a foil basically. So first up we've got Puncturing Lights, so we're going through our commons first. Silent Observer, Ethereal Guidance, Moldagroth's Scavenger. This has got Delirium on it, so another thing I'll do is I'll just point out when they first come up. some of the mechanics in the set. So with Delirium, Moldegraph Scavenger gets +3/+0 as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. So this is one thing we should see a lot of on these cards is Delirium. Ember Eye Wolf, Equestrian Skill, Macabre Waltz, Pyrehound, Geist Blast. So moving on to uncommons, Malevolent Whispers. There's also Madness is in this set. So with Madness, on this card, Madness 3 in a red. If you discard this card, discard it into exile. When you do, cast it for its Madness cost or put it into your graveyard. So there's like a discard theme in the set, which is going to basically synergize with Madness. Paranoid Parish Blade, another card with Delirium on it. So our rare is Avacyn's Judgment, so it's a 1 and a red sorcery with Madness X and a red. If you discard this card, discard it into exile. When you do, cast it for its Madness cost or put it into your graveyard. Avacyn's Judgment deals 2 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or players. If Avacyn's Judgment's Madness cost was paid, it deals X damage divided as you choose among those creatures and or players instead. So there's all in each pack. We're going to see a double face card, flippable card. So in here we've got Hinterland Logger, 1 and a green for a 2/1 creature human werewolf. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform Hinterland Logger, and that's going to transform into Timber Shredder, which is creature werewolf. It's 4/2 with trample. At the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform Timber Shredder. So it just transforms back. We've also got a foil in here. We've got a nice foil, Fevered Visions. So Fevered Visions is a rare. 1 blue-red enchantment. At the beginning of each player's end step, that player draws a card. If the player is your opponent and has 4 or more cards in hand, Fevered Vision deals 2 damage to him or her. So it's like a Howling Mind type effect with an extra ability into this 2 damage to your opponent. And obviously that's the case with that is that they have to have 4 or more cards in their hand. A check card and a clue token. Because clue tokens are a thing in this set. Ghostly Wings, another Puncturing Light, Silent Observer, Loam Dryad, Fiery Temper, Clip Wings, Farbog Revenant. It's got Skulk on it. So Skulk's it's a really interesting form of evasion. In the case of Skulk, the creature can't be blocked by creatures with greater power, so it sort of slips under rather than flies over. It's also got Lifelink on it as well. Rush of Adrenaline, Quilled Wolf, Obsessive Skinner. So we're moving on to our uncommons. Magnifying Glass. So actually with Magnifying Glass it has Investigate on here. So this Investigate is basically how you get the clue artifact tokens onto the battlefield. Inner Struggle. And our rare is Welcome to the Fold. 2 colourless, 2 blue. Madness X and 2 blue. Gain control of a target creature if its toughness is 2 or less. If Welcome to the Fold's Madness cost was paid, instead gain control of that creature if its toughness is X or less. In actual fact, I made a mistake with the casting cost. It's actually 2 generic mana, 2 blue. So our flip card is Pious Evangel, uncommon, flipping to Wayward Disciple. We have an island and an insect token. Emissary of the Sleepless, Jace's Scrutiny, Cathar's Companion. So Jace's Scrutiny's also got Investigate on it. Loam Dryad, Stormkirk Mentor, Tormenting Voice, Root Out, another card with Investigate. Rotten Heart Ghoul, Reduced to Ashes, Epitaph Golem. Moving on to our uncommons here. Old Wall Illuminator, a Stone Quarry here, so this is a non-basic at uncommon, so Stone Quarry enters the battlefield tapped, tap, add red or white to your mana pool. So a pretty simple tap land there. We have another land, so this is a land at rare, this is Foreboding Ruins. As Foreboding Ruins enters the battlefield, you may reveal a swamp or mountain card from your hand. If you don't, Foreboding Ruins enters the battlefield tapped. Tap, add black or red. Our flip card is Abhorrent Researcher. Add uncommon, flipping to Perfected Form. Another check card and an angel token. Interesting. All the way around. Furtive Homunculus, also with Skulk on it. Devilthorn Fox. Catalogue. Blood Mad Vampire, Vessel of Volatility, Kessig Dire Swine has Delirium, Macabre Waltz, Pyrehound, Might Beyond Reason, Dance with Devils, so we're moving on to our uncommons, Murderer's Axe, Ulrich's Kindred, and our rare is Corrupted Graphstone, which is 2 colourless artifact. Corrupted Graphstone enters the battlefield tapped. Tap, choose a colour of a card in your graveyard. Add 1 mana of that colour to your mana pool. Our flip card is Solitary Hunter, flipping to one of the pack. Another check card and a wolf token. Emissary of the Sleepless, Sleep Paralysis, Stern Constable, Warped Landscape. So this is a non-basic at common. So for this we tap, add colourless to your mana pool. 2 generic, tap, sacrifice Warped Landscape, search your library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. So a rather severely costed fetch land there for basic lands. Intrepid Provisioner, Farbog Revenant, Rush of Adrenaline, Rabid Bite, Arms of the Vein, Obsessive Skinner, Magnifying Glass, Inner Struggle, so moving on to our uncommons. Altered Ego is our rare. So for X, 2 generic green-blue, we get a creature shapeshifter. Altered Ego can't be countered. You may have Altered Ego into the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield except it enters with X additional +1/+1 counters on it. Our flip card is Solitary Hunter, flipping to one of the pack. card and clue card. Clue token. Deny existence. Storm Rider Spirit. Pieces of the puzzle. Blood Mad Vampire. Pocket 3 Geist. Rabid Bite. Alms of the Vein. Jewel Shot. Confront the Unknown. Epitaph Golem. So moving on to our uncommons. Ravenous Bloodseeker. Skeleton Key. And we have a Devil's Playground, which is our rare. 4 generic red. It's a sorcery. Put 4/1/1 red devil creature tokens onto the battlefield. They have when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. A flip card is Kessig Forge Master, which is uncommon. Flipping to Flameheart Werewolf. Another check card and a clue token. So no mythic so far, let's see, but we did have a foil. Nagging Thoughts, Vessel of Ephemera, Lamplighter of Self, Stallion of Ash Mouth, Explosive Apparatus, Merciless Resolve, Hulking Devil, Kessig Dire Swine, Dead Weight is in the set. Manic Scribe, another card with Delirium on it. So we're moving on to our uncommons here. Ravenous Bloodseeker, Sinister Concoction, and we have Ever After, which is our rare. 4 black sorcery. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Each of those creatures is a black zombie in addition to its other colours and types. Put Ever After on the bottom of its owner's library. Cursed Witch is our flip card. Flipping into Infectious Cursed. We have an island and a human soldier token. Okay, 2 packs to go. Nagging Thoughts, Vessel of Ephemera, Lamplighter of Self, Pocket 3 Geist, Stallion of Ashmouth, Macabre Waltz, Pyrehound, Might Beyond Reason, Rancid Rats, Olivia's Blood's Sworn, so moving to uncommons, Dissension in the Ranks, Howpack Resurgence, Scourge Wolf is our rare, so 2 red for 2/2 with First Strike and Delirium. So for this, with its Delirium ability, Scourge Wolf has double strike as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. Convicted Killer into Branded Howler. Checklist and a clue token for our last pack. Okay, so Stern Constable, Nagging Thoughts, Apocryphy Geist, Drownyard Explorers, Ghoul Caller's Accomplice, Shambleback, Howpack Wolf, Vessel of Nascency. Moving on to our uncommons, Trail of Evidence, so obviously a card with Investigate on it. Near Heath Chaplain, Howlback Resurgence. And our rare is Rattle Chains. 1 and a blue, 2/1, flash, flying. When Rattle Chains enters the battlefield, target spirit gains hexproof until end of turn. You may cast spirit spells as though they had flash. That would be cool in a spirit EDH tribal deck. And our flip card is Heir of Falconwrath. 1 and a black, 2/1 vampire. Flipping into a Heir of the Night. That's interesting. So we also have another. That's odd. Just trying to work out what that actually is then. Because we also have a flippable rare here. Handwear Militia Captain. Creature Human Soldier. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 4 or more creatures, transform Handwear Militia Captain. It's a 2/2 and it goes to Westvale Cult Leader. This is a Creature Human Cleric. Westvale Cult Leader's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control. At the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 white and black Human Cleric creature token onto the battlefield. Got a checklist here. And a news token. So that's a interesting one. So he's actually got 2 flip cards in here. So let's just go through quickly. So there's a rare, 3 uncommons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that adds up. So we've got obviously the flip card replaces one of the commons, but this extra flip card is also replacing another. So yeah, that's an interesting thing to turn up in there. Cool. Okay, so there we have it. No mythic there, but an interesting last pack. So that's cool. We had a nice dual lander, a rare there. So hopefully that's going to give you some idea of the what's in the set. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.